Hello, ladies. Good morning. How are y'all?
Mute. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. Actually, I'm going to put my screen up. I like that idea.
Debbie's screen is prettier than mine.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got one too.
Do you really?
Yeah. Uh-huh. I've got like a soji type of a thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But it's more fun to watch the cats on the cat tree.
I like seeing the cats too. There you go. Well, very rustic.
Nice.
Wow.
It's my favorite. It's Aspens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
From Gustav Klimt. It's actually it's a two-sided screen, and it's Gustav Klimt on both sides.
I saw that it looked like something else showing. Where'd you go? There we go.
Hi, Frank.
Frank.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you?
Loving life.
As always.
Living the dream.
You all will notice I'm wearing my official name tag today.
I know. I don't have mine on.
After this meeting, I'm going to a leadership meeting because, you know, this is all part of Keep It Local with the umbrella. And so I get to meet the other chapter presidents and area developers. So that'll be fun. Hi, Mary Beth.
Hey.
Good morning. Good
morning. I didn't get mine yet, Joe.
I know it's coming. I think it's probably my mailbox at the UPS store. And I haven't checked. I'll go check it on my way home today. That's where Debbie's was. I was like, what is this lumpy mail I got? And I was like, oh, I forgot. She's giving, or you know what? She's going to see me today. I wouldn't be surprised if she goes, oh, here you go. Hi, honey. Hello. Good to see you. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm going to wait. I know Connie Joe's coming. I'm going to give everybody just a couple more minutes, and then we will start the meeting. It's good to see a man here today. Frank, you're representing. Yeah.
Hey, gotta represent the male gender.
See what I got here, Frank?
Ooh.
With my lipstick on it.
You love him. You love him so much. Are you actually a Yankees fan, Debbie?
I am a Yankees fan.
Oh, very cool.
And I can't say that very loudly in the Baltimore area.
Yeah, right.
Fans are not nice to Yankees fans.
Oh.
Debbie is my sister from another mister.
Oh. You know, the Yankees do spring training near me.
I know. I go down to Tampa. I go down to Tampa once a year.
Do you?
Spring training.
And you don't see Joe? I don't understand.
Yeah, really.
I knew Joe was in Florida, but for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe because I met her in Fort Lauderdale. I thought she was in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh.
Well, now you know.
Now you know.
I saw the Yankees when they were still on the east coast of Florida, so I went down for
Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, I used to go down with I'm keeping the family tradition. I used to go down with my dad.
Oh.
Back in the 70s.
Yeah.
We used to go to Fort Lauderdale. We met Willie Randolph, Reggie Jackson, all those guys.
Very cool.
Remind me to tell you offline, Frank, about my friend who collects signatures.
Ooh.
Are they for sale?
It's pretty cool.
Hi, Connie Joe.
Hi.
Good morning. Connie Joe's like, I'm here. That's it. That's all I can say.
You're in body, but not in mind yet.
Yeah, she's still putting her jewelry on. I love it.
She looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Don't look at my pants.
Okay.
You're not wearing any.
See, this
I'm picturing Mickey Mouse hands, you know, really loose.
We don't
right
know
around.
Minnie Mouse. She's a
That's the benefits of virtual networking.
That's
Oh
right.
my goodness, yes.
Yes, that's right. Well, I'll go ahead and get rolling
everything.
for today's meeting. Thank you all for coming. Good to see everyone. We are doing virtual networks this morning, bright and early, and I want to thank you all for being here. It's not bright and early where Hani is probably, but the rest of us, it's early. And we have an exciting speaker today. Debbie is doing our speaking. Yeah, close that closet door, Frank, for Pete's sakes. Everybody's adjusting that. Too late, we've seen it. And we are going to get started with our elevator speeches, as always, and then from there we'll move into our special speaker today. I can't say guest speaker because she's part of our group. Debbie's got some fantastic marketing tips, writing tips for us today. And then we'll conclude with announcements. So to get us started, make sure to open the chat box and put your name and email address in there for attendance. And we are going to have, be sending this out today, but it'll be much later because after I was talking to some people. After this, I'm heading off to a local meeting. So I will be coming back into the office a little later and I'll get this out to you. So with that, let's get started with elevator speeches. I'm going to start with Connie Jo Miller when she gets done typing. Go ahead and finish typing.
I can't spell bookkeeping.
2K.
You know how hard it is to spell that word?
And it's one big word. There it is.
Yeah, and it's like there's just too many letters there.
Actually, so early.
It's so early.
Okay, I'm Connie Jo Miller of Enigma Bookkeeping Solutions, and I do bookkeeping and financial coaching, and I would make sure that you have impeccable audit and tax-ready books, and then I work with you to see if we can find ways to save money in your business and increase your bottom line.
Very great to see you. Hani.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, hello everyone. I am Hanne Brøter from yourbrandvision.com and I'm a Norwegian living in Sweden. I am a graphic designer and visual brand manager, and I work with passion and purpose-driven entrepreneurs and business owners to make their businesses look as good as they know they are themselves, so they can get more clients and take their businesses to the next level.
Yay! Welcome, welcome. Mary Beth.
Yeah. Hi, it's Mary Beth with sacredgrove.com. I'm an intuitive animal communicator, and I let you have conversations like, why aren't you using the litter box? And why are you barking at that dog all the time? And why are you so scared all the time when I leave you? So we do all kinds of things like that, even to, are you ready to go? Are you not looking so good? How do you feel? Are you ready to transition? So I work with people who love their animals as much as or more than sometimes the people in their lives. So
we're glad to hear, Mary Beth. No more rooster testimonials. I'm so disappointed.
You can go back to the rooster.
Frank.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Frank Deming from Local Business Marketing Solutions, and I help local businesses throughout the continental U.S. increase their revenue by 25% within 12 months. And I do that by optimizing 4 critical and proven marketing systems. I'm located in the great state of New Jersey.
Yay! Representing. And Frank is a member of our other Virtual Networkers chapter, and because you're virtual networkers, you can come visit the other chapter. So we're glad Frank is visiting us today. Not his friend Debbie.
I have to listen to my good friend Debbie speak.
Judy.
Yes. So I'm Judy Kane, and my business is Aligned Consciousness. I help people rewrite subconscious self-limiting beliefs using a process called Psych-K. People come to me for 3 main reasons: either the big emotions like phobias, trauma, grief, or goals they're not hitting even though they're trying really hard, or physical symptoms of stress.
And we learned all about that last week. It was such a great presentation, Judy. Thank you. I was still thinking about it. I was looking at my notes. It was really, really good. I'm actually next, so I'll go. Just going in line of the Zoom thing. I'm Jill Celeste. I am a marketing coach and founder of the Celestial Circle. Through the Celestial Circle, I gather the most yummiest, wonderful people on the planet, and we learn to love marketing and to make videos and have fun, all in a supportive environment. Several of you are in it, and thank you for being part of it. And I am on a goal to recruit 30 plus additional members of the Celestial Circle by end of August. So if you haven't heard about the Celestial Circle, hang on. You're going to be sick of it. No, I'm just kidding. So glad you all are here. And then Debbie.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Debbie of DeborahKeevan.com, and I live between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. in Maryland, not too far from Mary Beth, but far enough by traffic.
That's too bad.
I actually work with visionary entrepreneurs to help them get their messaging right by using their stories and ways to really magnetically attract their clients. On their web copy, on their IFOs, pretty much anything that gets in front of your client. We want to make those words snap, crackle, and pop.
Ooh, Rice Krispies in there.
I'm full of all kinds of references today.
Full of something.
Well, that's true all the time.
Well, we're glad you're here because you are a guest speaker too.
I'm it. Do I get to, let me
yeah, go ahead if you want to fire up.
So, I didn't even share an introduction because I think we all know each other well enough.
Yeah,
so
you just did your elevator speech. So just so you know, so Debbie's going this week. Next week is Jen Klein-Clark. And I asked her, and she doesn't have a presentation, but she's going to be here to present something, but it'll be phenomenal. She's really good about reverse engineering your profit goals and strategy. And so I know she'll come up with that. Mm-hmm. And then on June 29th, Friday, June 29th, we're going to do virtual coffee dates together. And I'm going to pair you off into groups of 2, and you're going to do coffee dates with each other. By golly, I'm going to make you. Coffee dates, you can bring your own cup of coffee or not. I'm going to invite, I'm going to have a big brouhaha about it so we get more people in here to meet us. But if you are not sure what a coffee date is, let me know. Or also called a one-on-one in some communities. So that's what's coming up between now and the end of June. And also don't forget, we're not meeting the Friday after the 4th of July, which is July 6th, because I'll be away. And I think we could just take a networking break. That's okay, right? So Debbie, are you ready to?
I am ready.
Oh, the squirrel is not here, but he will be.
Okay. Good. I really want him to be present.
I decided to name him Cecil.
Cecil. I like Fat Bastard.
So just so y'all are like, what the hell's going on? Yesterday I had a mid-year planning day, and a squirrel kept bothering me. It literally was wanting to come into my house. It jumped up and stared at me through the slider. I don't know if it was Mary Beth's presence or because he knows there's guinea pigs in here, therefore there's food. I don't know, but he was quite determined, and he was with me for about 2 hours of the 4-hour block. So I'll let you know if Cecil arrives.
Okay, Cecil. Here we go. I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Let me share my desktop because I got multiple things to share with you here. Okay. Don't look ahead. All right, today's topic is one of my very favorites. It's all about making your copy, your stories sticky, and to attract your ideal clients. So what is sticky? It's actually an idea that really your clients can't get it out of their minds. They remember it. It changes their perception, or it changes their action, their thought. So it's really something that, and I'm going to share 6 different ways that you can make your copy sticky. So, and we're going to just go through them. I'm not going to read them here, but let me just say that these are interesting in that if you use 1, it's great. If you use 2, it's better. If you can figure out a way to use all 6, it actually is one of those that more is better. And I'm going to show you and demonstrate different ways to use that. So these things actually combat what's called the curse of knowledge. And if you know me at all and you've been following me for any length of time, curse of knowledge is one of my favorite phrases. And really what it means is that once you know something, you cannot unknow it. And that makes it really difficult for you to connect with your ideal client, because you're speaking here and your clients are probably back here. And there's just this gap. It's easily compatible with those 6 steps. And we're going to I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to demonstrate with 2 of you. So can I ask for 2? I need to actually figure out how to do this. Let me pause share.
You can do a private chat to the 2 people.
While I'm in here, let me do that.
Yeah.
Okay, private chat. So I need, can I just ask for volunteers? Can I ask Mary Beth and Frank to be my volunteers?
Guinea pigs.
Okay, so everyone else needs to mute except for Frank and Mary Beth. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the curse of knowledge, and this was an actual demonstration that someone earned her PhD with a larger group than just 2 people. One of you is going to be a tapper, and one of you is going to be a listener. So who would like to tap and who would like to listen?
We'll toss a coin.
Who has, can I hear you each tap just on the desk in front of you? Whoever that was, I think that was you, Frank. Frank, you be the tapper. And Mary Beth, you be the listener. So here's how it's going to work. The tapper, I'm going to send you a private message with the title of a well-known song, at least it's well-known here in the United States. And you're going to read that title, keep it quiet to yourself. And then the listener is going to listen to you tap out that tune on the table in front of you. And she has 20 seconds to guess the title of the song because it's really well known. But first, Frank, what I'd like you to do is after you see the title of the song, what I want you to do is predict how probable is it that Mary Beth is going to guess the title of this song in 20 seconds, okay? So here's your song, Frank. Do you know that song?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the probability that Mary Beth is going to guess this in 20 seconds? Timer.
I'd say 2.
2%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'm a bad typer, but here it goes.
All right. Are you ready? Are you ready, Mary Beth? Here we go. Tap it out. We have 8 seconds left. Keep going, Frank. All right.
I'm like, it's like, I almost know this, but I can't tell you what it is.
Okay. That's awesome, actually. I'm really glad. Resume share. Okay, here we go. So here's what happened. Frank had the curse of knowledge. Frank, were you listening to the tune in your head as you were tapping?
Yeah, I was.
Hear it?
Yeah.
Mary Beth, what did you hear? Like,
I heard the lovely rhythm, and I was trying to turn that into a song that I probably knew, and it didn't come.
Didn't come.
No.
So guess what? This exact experiment was done. Frank, other people had much higher confidence in their abilities, I guess. Most tappers predicted that the listeners would guess 95% of the time, but it was actually 2% that they guessed. So here's what happens is Mary Beth is hearing this kind of like Morse code, right?
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
That's exactly what happens with your clients. You hear, you know in your head exactly what happens, exactly how it goes. Your clients are hearing this really random Morse code. So that's the curse of knowledge. Now I'm going to tell you 6 different ways that you can combat it. Okay.
What was the song?
What's the song?
Frank?
It's a secret. No.
Oh.
It's Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Oh.
I couldn't make it some of the other ones that I typically use because I've talked about it in my presentations before.
Very cool.
Okay, so our first one is to keep it simple. And here's the thing, is keeping it simple is not dumbing it down. And that's really an important distinction. I'm going to share a couple of stories. So what you want to do is find the core of your message. And one of the ways that you can do that is by using what's called a schema. And a schema is a really fancy word for taking a common idea, common thoughts or beliefs, and comparing it. So here's a great example. How many of you know what a pomelo is? Okay. So a pomelo I could describe in one of two ways. And I'm going to demonstrate. So I could say, a pomelo is a very large citrus fruit that has a thick rind, pink in the center, and it ranges in taste from tangy to sweet. Right?
Yep.
If you don't know what a pomelo is, you kind of have an idea what it is. But I could make that much shorter by just saying a pomelo is a supersized grapefruit. So it's something everybody knows about. You can instantly picture it. You can instantly find it. So how can you take some of the things that you do and compare it to something that's very well known? Another reason that keeping something simple is really effective is that it helps you make decisions. And the reason I have Southwest Airlines logo here is because Southwest has one mission. Their mission is to be the low-cost airline. And they make decisions based upon that simple premise. So here's two examples. The first is, if somebody wants to beatbox on the microphone while you're flying, Southwest Airlines will let you do that. And they made that decision because A, it doesn't cost anything, and B, why not? It's fun. So that's allowed. If you wanted to go up and sing, New York, New York on a flight as you're flying into New York, Southwest Airlines will let you do it. However, if an employee said, I think these really long flights from Florida to LA, or from Florida to LA, we really need to serve sandwiches. The answer would be no, because it increases cost, which increases the cost to the client. So simple. Keep things simple. We often make things more difficult than we need to because we have the curse of knowledge and we want to seem like we're experts, which we are. So this is one of my greatest. So unexpected really gets people's attention and it keeps it. So you want to use the element of surprise, something that's a little unexpected. How can you explain what you do without using the tried and true methodologies? So, but here's the thing, here's my little caution, is you want to not use gimmicks, because gimmicks are not authentic. What this does also is it creates a curiosity gap. So if you ask questions, people have a psychological need to fill in the answer. So if you have a question on your social media or a question on your blog title, people are more likely to click because they want to know. And I'm going to give you a really great example of a video. And just bear with me here. See how this is going to work.
Introducing the all-new Enclave. It's a minivan to the max, with features like remote control sliding rear doors, 150 cable channels, a full sky view roof, temperature-controlled cup holders, and the 6-point navigation system. It's the minivan for families on the go.
That was kind of unexpected, right? Do you think people remember that? So really, what I want to challenge you to do is to review your elevator speech and see if there's a way that you can add an unexpected element to it to make your elevator speech more sticky. How can you describe what you do in a way that's unexpected? So how many of you have ever heard that your brain is like a filing cabinet? Your memory is like a filing cabinet. Yeah, most of us. Here's the thing: is we store memories in certain places. Some of it's short-term memory, then it goes into our long-term memory. But actually, your memory is more like Velcro. And if you think about hooks in your brain, things that are similar, like if we use the pomelo, it hooks to the image of the grapefruit. So it actually sticks in there longer. So things that we can, let me just ask a question. Do any of you know the capital of Kansas? Judy, okay. So typically, unless you are from Kansas, you have a kid who's studying the capitals, or you've got, you just know because you know. Most people don't know Kansas or what the capital is. And that's because there's nothing for it to hook to in your brain. You don't have an image of Kansas unless you've been there. So let me contrast that. I'd like you to close your eyes for a minute. And I want you to picture your childhood home. I want you to imagine walking up to the front door and opening the front door and going inside. Can you smell what your house smells like? Can you picture the people in it? All the good memories. We're going to focus on good memories today. So here's the thing, is the capital of Kansas doesn't have anything really to hook to. I'm curious why Judy knows, but I know too, because I'm a freak about capitals. But your childhood home has like a gazillion hooks. Every person was shaking their head when I said, can you smell that? And actually smell is the strongest sense that we have. It actually, if you can tap into people's smells. Mary Beth attended a seminar, a workshop that I taught last September. Do you remember what I had a diffuser going with smells, and it actually, people were like, oh, you can probably even think about what that smelled like, right? Because it was calming and cool. So you want to use people's hooks by being concrete, right? So if you can use sensory language, what does something taste like or smell like or feel like? How can you be tangible? What is it? And if you can compare that with, using a schema, all the better, right? So actually I'm going to demonstrate another experiment. I'm not going to demonstrate, I'm going to tell you about this experiment. It's pretty horrifying. No one would get away with this today. So this is called the blue eyes, brown eyes experiment. And it happened in 1968, the day after Martin Luther King was assassinated. A teacher, a third grade teacher in Iowa, was trying to figure out, she was devastated, and she wanted to figure out a way for her students who were not a diverse community to understand discrimination. She wanted them to feel it. And so she separated the kids into kids who had blue eyes and kids who had brown eyes. The kids who had blue eyes were sent to the back of the classroom. The kids with the brown eyes came up front. They were told that they were smarter, that they were superior to the blue-eyed kids. The blue-eyed kids not only had to sit in the back of the classroom, but they had to wear collars so that they could be identified immediately just by sight without getting too close. And what happened was, viscerally, everything in that classroom changed. Kids who had been friends, best friends the day before, were mean, vicious to each other. And one of the kids actually went up to the teacher and said, "You have blue eyes, how can you be the teacher?" I mean, it was that, in their face. So then the next day she came in and she said, "You know what, I made a mistake. The kids with the brown eyes are actually the ones who were inferior." So the kids had to switch their seats and they had to experience it from the other perspective. And here's the fascinating stuff is they talked to these kids afterward and they said, how did you feel when you were shared as you were inferior, right? And they said that they felt dumb, they felt sad, they felt mean. One kid said, it felt like everything was against us. And the more that was against us, the worse it got. Other kids said, I couldn't stop thinking about the collars. So think about that. And here's the fascinating thing about that story. It was a very concrete way for the children to experience discrimination when they didn't really have another way to do it. They had at the 15-year high school reunion, so 24 years after this experience, one of the news channels like 60 Minutes came in to interview some of these now adults, and they still cried. It was so visceral, this remembrance. They talked about how deeply that experience still affected them. So you don't need to be this, graphic necessarily, but how can you take testimonials and take things that are real and demonstrate what you do for a living, right? So that's a way to be very concrete. So there's credibility. Credibility is helping people actually see and understand. And you can do that in a couple of different ways. You can either be an authority or you can be what's called an anti-authority. And so what does that mean? Authority is someone with expert status. So the way you can demonstrate authority is by presenting, by speaking, by publishing. Testimonials are a great way to identify your credibility. You include ways for people to try you on before they purchase from you. Jill's excellent at that. So here's an example of an anti-authority. Back in the 1980s, the American Cancer Society wanted to launch a non-smoking campaign. And all the campaigns that they'd had up to that point were falling on deaf ears. Like they just wasn't catching on. There was a rise in smoking and emphysema and all of the cancers that are associated with smoking. And what ended up happening was they met this young woman, 27-year-old. Her name was Pam Laffin, and she was on oxygen. She had emphysema. She was close to death, actually. And so she became the spokesperson for the American Cancer Society in their anti-smoking campaign. And the thing about it was, she said she started smoking at a very young age, like 13 or 14, because she wanted to look older. And then she said the problem was it worked. When she died, very shortly thereafter, she left behind 2 very young children. She looked 30 years older than she actually was. It made her look so old. So this campaign was hugely effective because she was credible because she was an anti-authority. So she really demonstrated all of the things that you were talking about, but because she had lived experiences. So are there ways that you can demonstrate anti-authorities? Like Frank, you could be talking about people who aren't using SEO, right? Who aren't using some of these techniques, and how is it impacting their bottom line? Oh, emotional. You can make things emotional. Mary Beth, you're great at this, telling stories about people's pets, and we connect. So people care not about numbers, although I'm a real big fan of using statistics and using them in credibility, using them for credibility, but they tune into things that they care about. We've all heard of WIIFM, what's in it for me. You have to tune into that station, and you really want to use people's self-interest and the power of association. Mother Teresa once said, if I look at the masses, I take no action, but if I look at the one, I will. And that's exactly what you can do here. So think about how many of you have ever received in the mail or email a fundraising letter asking you to make a donation. Yeah, me too. So there's really 2 different kinds of fundraising letters. The first is, there's this huge problem. There's people people don't have access to clean water in Africa, and so they have these terrible diseases. They have infestations of worm. They're drinking things that aren't healthy, and then it has all these other health impacts. That kind of letter that's very general, on average, gets of about $1.11 in donations from all the letters that they send out. But if they write the letter that is meet this child is impacted, and here's exactly what happened to this child. Those donations are $2.34 comparatively. People can identify with the one, but they feel like when you're talking about something very large, that their contribution will be a drop in the bucket and won't matter, and so they don't do it. So there was one other way is by power of association. So this is a really great example of Texas in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, had a huge problem. They had, to the tune of $25 million a year, a littering problem just on the highways, $25 million. And the thing was that the costs were going up 15% every year, like this huge problem. And, if you've ever heard, they had the woodsy owl, right? Give a hoot, don't pollute. You remember the Native American with the tear rolling down his face. Those things were not working in the state of Texas. So the Department of the Environment created an avatar. Jill talks about ideal client profiles all the time. So this particular avatar was Bubba. And Bubba drove a truck, like many people do in Texas, member of the NRA.
Who's that?
Loved his barbecue, loved his football, and he was littering. He was driving down, tossing, his garbage out the window. So they created this. And so the other thing about Bubba is he was viscerally connected to his Texan identity. So don't mess with Texas is Texas's state motto. And they created an anti-littering campaign with Don't Mess with Texas. They tapped into Bubba's need to be identified as a Texan. And they had, people from the Dallas Cowboys. They had Mean Joe Greens picking up garbage on the side of the road and crushing, cans that he was finding, like given like these very manly kind of don't mess with Texas. So that all the campaign, every commercial ended, don't mess with Texas. Here's the thing. Within 1 year, so 73% of Texans remembered the commercial. Number one, it was very sticky, lots of Velcro. And within 1 year, littering cleanup costs had gone down by 29%. Within 5 years, it was down 72%. And Texas had the least amount of litter than any other state in the union. That's pretty emotional, right? So how can you use emotion to tap in to your clients, their fears, what their dreams are, what makes them uniquely them? So if you have a really strong avatar, you'll be able to do that. And here's one of my favorites is stories. Stories create action. I've shared with you today all kinds of stories as I was demonstrating the credibility, the anti-authority, messing with Texas. So there are really, stories really create simulation. They bring people together and they motivate people to take action. So there's really 3 different plots, and I'm just going to give you a very high level. When you're writing a story, you can consider using one of these plots. There's the challenge plot, which is really about overcoming obstacles. If you think about Star Wars, David and Goliath, Rosa Parks, these are all great examples of a challenge plot. The connection plot is all about relationship. It's about bridging relationships between people. And so if you're a movie fan like I am, there's like When Harry Met Sally. There's the Titanic. It's all about love story, connection, tapping into people's hearts. And then the Good Samaritan is a biblical one that we can all understand. Then there's the creativity plot. How do you solve a problem, a mental breakthrough? The one that comes immediately to mind is the apple falling on Isaac Newton's head and him getting the theory of relativity. Einstein, Edison. How many times did Edison fail? But he didn't give up. He kept trying. MacGyver. Every MacGyver show was really solving a problem. Okay? So now that you know this, you know about the curse of knowledge, and you know 6 different ways that you can change your copy. What I really want to challenge you to do is to evaluate, your web copy, your landing pages, your emails, your blog posts, your irresistible free offer. Take a look at this and see if you can give it a U-ectomy. Tune it into WIIFM and see how you can jazz it up a bit. Really tap in to your ideal client's stuff. I actually use a scorecard, and I try to get as many yeses when I'm creating copy as I can. How many of these can I do? The more yeses you have, the more you're going to tap into your ideal client and their heart and have them take action, right? You're going to really make it valuable. So evaluate how you're doing. How are you doing? See how you doing. See if you can integrate any of this into your elevator speech, how you show up, what you're talking about, your videos, your Facebook Lives, right? I know you got this. You can do it. And now it's time for you to go get sticky. I want you to do that. And if you have any questions, you want me to take a look at anything, I'm happy to do it. Just book a call with me and we'll jump on the call. And if you have any questions, I do have time for questions. Whew. I did that as fast as I could. I hope it wasn't too fast.
You did great. No, that was perfect.
Woo.
Good job. I love it. When you were talking about that creativity piece, it reminds, as soon as you said it, it reminded me of the scene from Apollo 13. Was it Apollo 13?
Oh, yes.
When they threw all that stuff on the table, and like, this is what's in the rocket. We have to build something to get them home. And I was like, that was such a huge part of that.
Right. That was that, and the Post-it note. don't push the button to release everyone else. That's brilliant. Yes, exactly. Great one, Jill.
I have to watch that again. So everybody liked your compliments in the chat box.
Oh, thank you.
Who's got a question for Debbie?
Anyone?
I got a question.
Okay.
So I like this because all right. So when I write, here's my challenge.
Okay.
When I write, I write for the machine. I know you got to write for the reader, but I write for the machine because I know what the search engines are looking for. So I got to try to unlearn that, right? Because curse of knowledge, right? So my knowledge is, all right, I know that the search engines look for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I have to make my client get found. That's all I think about, right? But there's some power in mixing that up with, emotion and stories and credibility. Does anything that you do help bridge that?
Yeah, so I would actually encourage you, instead of thinking either or, I would actually think and. How can you marry these together rather than do them separately? So one of the ways that I do it is I have a 3-step process, and I write down my goal for the communication. I write down my client's problem. And then I create a statement or ask a question that kind of marries those two together. And then what your goal is to increase people's SEO, letting them be found. So are there ways that you can solve your client's problem? Because they're going to be the ones or their clients are going to be reading whatever it is you're writing. But you also need it to be, found by the search engine. So how can you sprinkle those keywords in an authentic way, but kind of bridge that gap by focusing on the pain point of the client, but then making sure that your goal to get them found is a part of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that.
Well, let's have a conversation and take a look at an example. I'm sure that, we can figure it out. It's figure outable.
Would you bring the coffee or should I?
I always have coffee.
BYOC.
BYOC, yes.
Yeah. There you
go. That conversation reminds me when I worked in corporate and I had the web guy, the Frank, and then me, the writer. And he's like, no, it's got to have all these keywords at the top. And I'm like, but that doesn't flow.
Right. You've got it. Yeah.
And we'd have to compromise.
Exactly. And I think that's a key point, is that you want to make sure you're achieving both goals, but you maybe not just throw all the keywords up top. You may have to prioritize and then sprinkle the rest in. And use tags and categories and things like that.
There's a way to do, I think, I don't know if you guys heard my thing about secondary keywords. I had a SEO thing, and I guess that's where I have to get it out of my brain. Anyway.
Right. We're just going to adjust.
We're
going to get tuned in.
Yeah.
I think Mary Beth had a question.
Okay. Unmute.
Yeah. So, Debbie, I've used questions, and I found that sometimes I get really results that I wasn't excited about. Let's say that, like at a Facebook ad, I ask a question, and people look like to me, rather than clicking on it to find out more information, they answer the question. Like, of course, I talk to my animals. I'm like, I thought I asked a good question, but you're just saying yes or no, or I'm thinking I'm still missing some of the nuances of getting people to not just think they answered the question, but see what I have to say about that question.
Right. So I think you're getting great information. You're getting great feedback. The thing is people are taking action. So that's yay, right? They're clicking.
Good.
They're not taking action that you want. Oh, here's a kitty cat.
Yeah, yes.
But so tweak the question. So there are some things that are just super obvious. So maybe instead of do you want to speak to your animal or do you speak to your animal, think about something like that they don't know the answer to. So you want them to click because they don't know the answer.
Like, what does that meow mean?
Yeah, what does that meow mean? Why is that your dog barking? Why won't your pet wear the thunder shirt? Because they know, and I'm making stuff up that's too long, but you get kind of the gist. It's something that they're like, well, I don't know.
Why does your cat hate the litter box? Like those kind of questions.
Yeah.
That they really don't know. I mean, they can conject,
speculate,
but.
I guess what I also have to do is get a thicker skin to know there's always smart asses out there.
What I would do is if they respond, of course they respond, then I would comment and say, you should click through. Like I would invite them to click through and
okay,
that conversation going.
Yeah,
because I've heard people say, well, they're meowing because they want another treat. And
I would say, are you sure?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so continue the conversation.
I'm banter right on back.
Stir the pot a little bit, yeah.
Have conversation because they'd be being a little bit of a smart.
Have a conversation.
They're pet lovers nonetheless.
Turn up your smart ass there,
Mary. I know you have that, Mary Beth.
I have it. I just was trying to be nice.
Nice.
I think you're being nice. I think that you're not letting them get away with it.
Right.
Right. And plus it shows you're engaged and you're involved in your ads, which I think from a branding perspective is helpful anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think asking different questions, and maybe it's not asking the question in the ad. Maybe it's a statement. Like I'm not as good at this as probably Debbie, but something like, yes, your cat is trying to say something to you. Like just an emphatic statement might.
Thank you. That kind of clicks me into another place. Both.
Yeah.
Much. Very good. Thank you.
Awesome. Great question, Mary Beth.
Connie Jo.
So my favorite one is the unexpected. And so I get it how you do it visually. because I'm sure we've all seen stuff, in commercials that's unexpected. But how do you do that in writing or just verbally? Do you have any examples of that? Because
Yeah, so let's think about, so you're about, so the things that people expect from you, if I can just make a guess, are that bookkeeping is kind of staid, that it's something they have to do, not something that they want to do. Bookkeeper. So for you, Connie, you have such an awesome sense of humor, and I think that showing that in your copy, and people don't expect, even though as a former reformed accountant, I know that I'm damn funny. People don't expect that. They have this image of people who do books as boring, or, the pencil pocket protector kind of a person, right? That's a very overused trope. So for you, have fun, like unleash your creativity and your fun. That's unexpected. Like, people want to work with somebody who they really love and connect with. And for you, I mean, the more you're just showing yourself, that's unexpected, right?
The problem I have, I guess, is that I'm afraid it reduces credibility if you're trying to be funny. Does that make sense?
So again, you think you have something in your mindset that says this is how a bookkeeper ought to behave.
Yeah.
You need to, that can be worked on, the mindset piece, because I think what ends up happening
Judy's like, yes.
you're not aligned. Like you're not your job and your work is not aligned with who you are. They're not mutually exclusive.
Okay.
I know if I have testimonials, but I can get people to laugh with me, it's like a killer combination. I had the one about, the cat told me that he was married to my friend.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it only happens to me. But so I'm throwing that in. Something about, so there's the fact that we're good at what we do, plus something kind of funny, unexpected.
I always think, Connie Jo, don't you want people who are fun to work with, though?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's who you're going to attract.
I think the best thing, when you told me you had a collection of whoopee cushions, I was like instantly in love. Who wouldn't want a bookkeeper that has a collection of whoopee cushions?
Exactly.
And she uses them.
Yeah.
I would, if I was in charge of marketing your business, the whoopee cushions would appear in your market.
Yes.
For sure.
I mean, whoopee, right? Whoopee.
Whoopee. It's time to do your books. Whoopee.
And her Halloween
Don't
costume.
fart, be smart.
Yeah.
I would be all over that with a spoon.
Okay.
Yeah, and think about your costumes, the creativity of your costumes. You can link that in as well. I mean, if you have never seen Connie Jo's Halloween, woo! She's incredible. So how can you take the fun and the creativity? Like, don't let your books, don't dress your books up like this. Mm-hmm. You want them to be, audit ready, and then you show somebody like the IRS, right? This is you, but it needs to look like this to these people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll work on that.
Thank you, Connie Jo. Well, that was awesome presentation and great questions. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Make sure you email Jennifer Flynn, Debbie, and get on the calendar, because now, Frank, it's Mondays at noon Eastern, the other group?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
Mondays at noon.
Perfect.
Yeah. So you can see Frank and Jennifer and whoever else is hanging out over there. But you can definitely, any of you are welcome to present over there at Chapter 601 to expand your reach and meet other people and maybe see some of the same people. See Frank for sure. So make sure you'll feel free to do that if that meets your schedule. I think Hani reached out, right, Hani? Yeah, she did. Awesome. So now we're going to move into the announcements. The announcements is where you get a chance to ask us for referrals or tell us about a program, webinar, book, whatever it is that you have. Let's remember to share the love. So if someone says, like my Facebook page, please like the Facebook page. And if someone says, please, look for referral, please look for referral. This is what networking is all about. So, and you don't have to have a announcement. It is optional. So I'm going to start other way. Let's do a Judy Kane. Judy, any announcements today?
She's got to unmute.
I do. I know. It just takes me a while to get the cursor over there. Well, yeah, like my Facebook page, Aligned Consciousness. That would be lovely.
Oh, will you put the link in the chat for us?
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm always looking for coaches or other people to refer their clients over to get rid of those handful of pesky blocking subconscious beliefs, and then go back to you to deal with whatever it is that you're working with. Yeah.
Whatever, animal, bookkeeping.
Whatever.
Awesome. Thanks, Judy. Hani, any announcements?
No, not any announcements today.
Well, I will make an announcement for you. Hani is making some awesome videos.
Yes.
Awesome video.
Thank you.
Your Brand Vision Facebook page. I'm telling you, I've been making videos for years. I like to think I'm pretty good at it. And then here comes Hani. I never make videos. And she's got illustrations and humor. And I'm like, total envy, total video envy. So please be sure to check out Hani's videos. And congratulations on doing them.
Thank you.
Okay. Mary Beth, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Well, I have the U Connect program. If you know anybody who, I don't know how, I don't want to ask the question, do you want to connect with your animals, or I'm already doing it? However, if you know anybody who actually wants to learn how to connect and tune into their animals, I'm teaching a 6-week, 7-week program on that. And I would love referrals as well. So
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Let's get some, if you know an animal lover, let them know. Especially one who loves their pet more than their children. I'm just kidding. I love my kids most of the time. Frank.
That's funny. You guys know how to party over here in chapter 606. I'm definitely concerned about the changes that are coming up with the search engine algorithms, because what happens is when Google makes an algorithm change, the other search engines follow suit, right? So, because of all of the mobile, the push to mobile and everything, they're really making it a priority to make sure that everything is totally mobile friendly. Not just it looks nice on mobile, but it has what's called an AMP AMP programming in there, so that way you're found on mobile. Because if you don't have it, you won't be found on mobile. So what my ask this week, well, till the 30th of June, is I am going to do a free website audit for people and let them know if they're compliant or not. Once July hits, it's not going to be free anymore. It's going to be, I'm thinking of a price point of $97, but I'm going to do it for free now until the 30th of June, so that at least at least you're informed. And you can't say that Frankie D didn't tell you. So, that's my ask this month. So I'll put a link to my schedule on the thing, and
There you go.
anybody
Thank you.
interested, we can rock and roll.
Highly recommend, because people search on their phones. How many of you do a Google search on your phone or Safari all the time? Connie Jo, any announcements?
I want to announce that I have an awesome marketing plan for the rest of 2018, and I'm so excited. We didn't go to planning day yesterday. You made a big mistake. It was so much fun, and I got so much accomplished, and I'm already looking forward to November 8th for Planning Day 2019.
I know it'll be here before you know it. Isn't that the thing?
Yeah. So I'm just so excited.
I'm excited for you.
It really gave me a spark here to
So
get forward to stuff.
So you already have one for November 8th. See, this time I have time to plan for that.
Yeah, see, put it on your calendar. Just block the whole day. Because I don't know what time it is, but it's going to be 4 to 5 hours anyway. You're not going to get anything else done. So just block the day.
Being done right now.
Thank you. Thank you, Connie Jo, for that. That's wonderful. You made me smile.
Was that unexpected?
It was unexpected.
Yay.
Oh, if I was a crier, I would cry. Let's see. Debbie?
So I want to thank Frank and Mary Beth for participating and being guinea pigs today. So thank you. And thank you, Jill, for the opportunity to blather on about my favorite subject. I am looking right now for one-on-one clients. So if you know of anyone who really just wants some love, I work with Mary Beth now, and I just would like more Mary Beth.
She's awesome. I don't know. I don't think I'm being strong enough. I'm cutting in just to be a testimonial here, but wow.
How unexpected.
Incredible.
Incredible.
So, so that's what I'm looking for. So, if anybody who wants someone to help elevate what they're doing and get more clients, let me know.
Debbie will help. Yes. And for me, as I mentioned in my elevator speech, I am looking for wonderful new entrepreneurial friends to join the Celestial Circle. TheCelestialCircle.com is the web address. This month we're finishing up videos. Next month I'm going to have Instagram instruction. And then the month after that I have someone juicy. And then the month after that, something else juicy. So lots of good stuff coming. So if you are interested in that, please let me know. And I see we have a late arriver. Valerie Buchanan, are you there? It's like I'm on a radio show. Valerie, are you there? Oh, I wish Valerie could have came at the beginning. I think Valerie lives out on the West Coast, so this is probably super early for her. But I'm so glad she showed up nonetheless. Valerie, are you there?
She's on mute.
Is she?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Valerie, hi.
Yeah, I'm like barely awake, so I'm not getting on the video.
Oh, that's okay. Well, you know what? You came an hour late.
Yeah, I know. I just happened to see it, actually. I just got up, and I'm like, oh, it starts so early.
Well, you know, you should come over to Frank. Valerie, you live in Nevada, right?
I'm sorry?
Do you live in Nevada?
I couldn't hear you.
Do you live in Nevada?
Yes, I do.
So you might like the other virtual network better because it's not butt crack dawn for you.
Oh, okay.
Frank's in that chapter. Frank, can you give Valerie the scoop real quick?
Yeah, really quick. We meet every Monday at 12 noon Eastern, so I believe that'll be 9 o'clock your time. So
Would that be better, Valerie?
Yeah, that would be perfect.
I'll make sure you get the information.
Oh, I was gonna say, you have that link. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Or you can send it, Frank.
I don't know.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Put her email there on the chat box. I can send you the invitation.
Valerie, do you have access to the chat box?
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Yeah, put your email in there. Frank will be in touch.
Yep.
There you go. All right. Thank you all for coming and for being here. Make sure you come next week for Jen Klein-Clark's wonderful presentation. Bring a friend and have a great weekend. Thank you again. See everybody later.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Great presentation.
I can find the chat box.
Can you get it, Valerie?